What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Sly Geordie, and welcome back to some more F1 25 driver career mode for I think it's the Dutch Grand Prix of season 3. Sorry, it doesn't appear right now, but there it is. If you missed last episode, it was a big episode 50 actually, at the Belgian Grand Prix and the sprint as well, where we actually came out with our first win of the season, and now we are actually joint on points with Lando Norris, still about 11 points off of 12 points off of Charles Leclerc, so still a ways to go, but we are firmly back in this title fight now. Piastri quite a while away, Verstappen even further away after the torrid season that he's had so far, and yeah, with only 7 Grand Prix left to go, this is it. You know, this is where it really counts. The second half of the season, we're going into new regulations, so upgrades will be stopping very, very soon. The time is now if we want to win a championship with Aston Martin. But as I said, throughout the season, this will be our last season at Aston Martin, of course. And yeah, as you could probably tell, our target is 95, but we haven't been gaining nearly as many XP, whatever, towards the overall stats this season compared to the last couple of seasons. Whether that's because of our lower performance due to, you know, obviously not leading the championship, not winning all the races, or it's just down to maybe the overall goes up slower after you reach 90. I don't know, but either way, we should probably change this target. But also, by breaking the contract, this actually also allows us to get more secret meetings. So yeah, I definitely want more secret meetings. We haven't had one for a couple of episodes, and I'm getting a bit worried that we don't have a team to go to for season 4. And if we don't have a team to go to, especially a top team, we might end up at a worse team than Aston Martin and not have a chance at winning the championship next season. And I definitely want to win more than one in this series, especially, like I said, season 4 is going to be the final season in this current series, and going into F1 26, or at least the F1 26 DLC. So I want to get this series done. I also want to make time for at least one season of my team, just to, you know, say that we did it. So anyway, it's time to now break this contract and yeah, not have to worry about the target anymore. So there we go. The contract has been broken, and now we move on. I wonder if we'll get any special dialogue, because this is actually the first time I've ever broken a contract with a team. So yeah, we now start the season break. We have rear wing main plane and diffuser side fences coming in for this Grand Prix, and one of them has failed, unfortunately.
Developments to come through, but I'm afraid to say that some of them have failed quality control. We're going to need to tell the team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
Okay, well, we should probably get that done. Yeah, there we go, right at the bottom. We should have enough R&D points to be able to do it, and yes, we do. And we will be able to get it in for Monza, so that's good at the very least. And we do still have an upgrade going into Zandvoort, perhaps just not the one that we would have wanted. So, going in, McLaren have had an upgrade removed from their car. This time it's not Williams, so it's right back to McLaren. Yeah, the balancing out the field thing has just not been as good as I thought it might be, especially given the nature of the cars in their default states as well. The Aston is still like one of the worst on the grid, and I think balancing out the field is kind of now going to the little intricacies in the cars, and you know what really makes the McLaren the better car out of everything is really coming out now. And so balancing out the field doesn't really seem to matter, unfortunately. So, but at least we tried it. It is interesting, of course, and you know, we will be able to start nearly from scratch next season. Regulations be damned, because we might still use an R&D modifier, which I probably will. It's what makes these last couple of career modes different versus F1 23. And I still want to experience this one after F1 24. But yeah, according to the R&D chart, looks as though we're still a little bit behind the top 3 cars here. Ferrari, Williams, and McLaren definitely seem to have gotten their 2 upgrades in to this Grand Prix, of course. The Red Bull cars, the two worst teams on the grid, but VCarb finally starting to bring in some upgrades. They brought in one for Belgium and they brought in another one for Zandvoort, so that is definitely very, very interesting. Hopefully they can catch up very soon. I wonder what the grid is going to look like at the end of the season, because very, very soon we're all going to have to start protecting the parts, and you know, that's when people will probably stop upgrading. Maybe VCarb will continue to upgrade because maybe they have less parts to protect. I don't know. Right now we're developing nothing. We could perhaps look into developing something. We've got this ultimate part here, the streamlined suspension arms. We've got a DRS maximum slot gap that we can get. How late does this arrive? This doesn't arrive until around Singapore, so I probably don't really want to bother with that just yet. We have the tertiary wing flaps, a minor downforce upgrade. We've got the floor edge wing, another minor one. I definitely want to get this major one, and we could get this before Baku. We just need to get the necessary R&D points for it. So yeah, let's have a look at these goals first before we go in. Let's go that one, and then I guess that one. I don't know if we can get that one, to be honest. Finish in a better position than your teammate in quali or in the race. Oh, the race is a lot easier, so we'll do that. We'll do that one. And yeah, whatever. So our last race at Zandvoort was, well, Zandvoort Reverse was last season. We actually won and got the fastest lap. And I actually went back to look at that episode. We won by quite a margin. There was a big battle with Lando Norris throughout the first stint, but it was very much like Spa last season as well. Like after the pit stops happened, we just had no competition whatsoever, and we just ran away with it. Now, I don't think that will happen this time. We'll see. It seems to be a track that we are pretty good at, so let's see if we can do it again.
Shores of the North Sea, which brings its own challenges with sand sweeping onto the track. Welcome to Zandvoort, welcome to free practice, and welcome to a sea of orange.
I'm always better in the second half of the season, so now we're going into a lot of tracks that I am very, very comfortable with. In fact, the only one that I'm not truly comfortable with is probably Singapore. Besides that, I'm quite comfortable with all of them. Brazil is harder in this game, but even then, I'm sure we'll do well. There's also a sprint on offer there as well, and then the season wraps up in Vegas.
Some extra data during this session. Nothing you need to worry about, but as we have some new parts on the car, we'll just confirm they're performing to spec.
Okay, that sounds good. Right, we're going to go and fit on the mediums. I'm not going to worry about going onto the hards for track acclimatization, mainly because I need to shave off a bit of time for this particular stream. I have something to watch at 1 o'clock. It is about just under 11:30 right now, so I'll shave off a bit of time by not going out on the hards. We don't have track acclimatization here anyway, so we'll just do race strategy and get right into qualifying from there. So we'll skip ahead just to get a bit of track evolution in. Qualifying is actually in the wet. I didn't notice that. I had so much to talk about in this episode that, yeah, I just, you know, I acknowledged it with my eyes but didn't acknowledge it in my head. But yeah, qualifying is definitely going to be very, very interesting, that is for sure. Right, let's go out now.
Okay, track's green right now, so take a few laps to get the tyres up to temp and get yourself in the zone.
But yeah, with that contract now broken, Aston Martin now know that they will not be keeping us for this season. I wonder if that means that Yuki Tsunoda will start receiving priority. I don't know. But the goal here is to actually get as much secret meetings as we can and maybe get a team that I feel like joining. But here we go at Zandvoort Reverse. Hopefully we get more reverse tracks this season. In the F1 26 DLC, that would be really, really nice. But yeah, I seem to be better at Zandvoort Reverse than I am at actual Zandvoort. I don't know how that works, but whatever. But the teams that we've rejected so far this season are McLaren, Williams, and Ferrari. I would have gone with Ferrari, but I really don't like the HP logo. I'm not going to lie. Like, if I'm going to join Ferrari, I'd rather it be with a better looking livery, which I'm hoping the 2026 car will be. Which might spoil F126 a little bit, my series on that, but whatever. I do plan on starting at Audi. Okay, let's put that front brake bias back down to 52. We'll get on with it. There's some dark clouds up above right now. The car doesn't feel all that bad. We are starting on the mediums though, so it's not going to be nearly as stiff as the hard tyres can be. Yeah, I really don't know when the F126 DLC is coming out, and I don't know if I have enough time to get this second half of the season done, then the final season, and my team at the same time, because I want to at least complete one season of my team, and I want to do that like right after this season, so we save season 4 like to be the last thing that we do. But I really hope I've got enough time to do that. I mean, I am streaming pretty much every day, so there's a good chance that we will, but yeah, we've got these last few episodes. I think this is round 10, so I'm guessing like 6 episodes, or it might be round 9. I think this is round 9, so I think it's more like 7 episodes left, including this one, right? Then we got 16 for the My Team season and 16 for season 4, which is another 32, so that will be like 39 days of streams. Now I can do that, right? That's not my issue. My issue is whether or not that is enough time to get all that done in time for the DLC to come out, right? I mean, surely it comes out like at the usual time the game does, maybe a month earlier, but by then, you know, it would have already done. And, you know, it's not going to be like 38 days of streaming, right? I'm going to have some days off here and there, so technically it'll be a bit longer than that. We actually didn't hit the target for lap 2, so let's lock in a bit. I was planning to use ERS on that main straight, but, you know, I just didn't, because I was too busy talking. I think we're dealing with maybe a little bit of dirty air from Behrman, I don't know. Oh, Ollie, you need to go quicker than this. You know, I would have thought he was on the hards or something, but no, he's on the mediums. Just really slow around that final corner for some reason. It would be really interesting though if we did end up at like a team like Haas, for example, considering their journey throughout our series. A team that is consistently improving and is now consistently scoring points. It would be interesting to join them to see how far we can push them, you know. But I want to be at a team where I can win a second championship, you know? This is obviously a harder game than F123 was. And F124. Even though F124 felt so much harder. F124 was just not a joy to play, right? Just was not a joy to play at all. In F123 we did like 5 seasons. And we won 4 championships, 4 drivers' titles. This one we've only won 1, and we're doing 4 seasons. I was hoping we'd win it this season. There's a good chance we might not. And I mean, I'm saying a lot of this assuming we're not winning the championship this season, but we are still in the title race, right? Especially after last weekend. Scoring a ton of points. We're now equal on points with Lando Norris, who we know we can beat around here. Charles Leclerc is looking like the man to beat this season. He's definitely been the most consistent. Especially since he's 12 points ahead. He was all over us around Spa. And he just seems to be consistently in that top 3. So we need to start getting consistent now. And the second half of the season is where we're at our best. So if we're going to do it any time, it is now.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
Alright, well, that's practice. So we should get ourselves back to the pits now and get ready for qualifying. All that pit entry is weird. What's the tyre wear looking like? Not too bad. A lot more on the rights though. But again, not too bad. These are the mediums after all, so I doubt we'll be on the softs. That was only 5 laps though. I can't remember how many laps there are in Zandvoort, especially now that we're down to 35%. So even if I did remember, it wouldn't matter anyway. Alright. Yeah, this is us done. So now we'll do quick practice to get the rest of the R&D points, and then we're on towards qualifying.
What an incredible practice session that
But
was.
Yuki's looking good. Yuki's looking good. Okay, I'm just checking my audio. Alright. We are ready. So yeah, let's have a look at the... Oh yeah, regulation rumour multiple. Hi Jordy, I wanted to inform you about some rumours regarding next season's sporting regulations. It seems there might be changes affecting multiple areas of research and development. Although nothing is confirmed, it's worth considering strategies to address these potential changes. Well, I personally don't really care, right? Because I'm leaving Aston Martin at the end of this season. I will try to leave them in the best spot I possibly can. Looks like there's going to be a big monsoon in qualifying. Crazy. But yeah, I always try to leave teams in a good position because it just makes the grid a lot more competitive. So that's what we'll do. But yeah, I'm really wanting to know what team I'm going to be at next season. I hope it's not one of those things where we only have like one choice, right? Because I've seen some horror stories on Reddit of people getting some really awful choices despite winning the championship, you know? So that's definitely something I'm afraid of, and that's why I'm kind of relying on a secret meeting. And I want a particular team, right? Because I feel like if I can get this particular team, it's really poetic for the end of this particular series. I don't want to give you guys too many clues because that might spoil it, or it might not, you know? But I'll let you guys know when it happens, obviously. Whether or not we get the team, I'll let you guys know then. But for now, we need to focus on our job at Aston Martin. And trying our best to leave this team in a good place and leave this team with a second Drivers' Championship for them as well. It was a shame we weren't able to get the Constructors. That's for sure. But maybe we might be able to do that in Season 4 with whatever team we end up in. Who knows? I really hope so. But we just reached 92 overall. That's good. That's very, very good. Nowhere close to our 95 target, and we're not going to hit that anyway. Not that it matters. Again, we've just broken the contract, so yeah. Alright, a tight and twisty circuit. Zandvoort in reverse is just as challenging as its standard counterpart. It's flat out through turn 1, providing a quick entrance into turn 2. But be careful of the exit out of here as it tightens up with no curb on the outside, meaning there's no room for mistakes, just grass and a metal barrier. Sectors 2 and 3 provide a very fast-flowing section of the track, with lots of high-speed elevation changes before hitting a blind crest at turn 11 and throwing you downhill into the famous banked corner of turn 12. Alright, not that it matters anyway, that whole yap about speed, because it's going to be in the wet. Let's get this aerodynamic upgrade on the car. A 0% failure chance, and that will arrive before Baku. I want to see if we can get it in before Monza, because that will be a huge coup for us. It's only a 25% failure chance, so yeah. Definitely want to go about doing that. But let's get into qualifying for the Dutch Grand Prix.
Just look at that sea of orange. No surprises if I tell you we're here in Holland at Zandvoort for the Max Verstappen celebration party. It's a quick track and perfect for high speeds, high stakes qualifying. Welcome along to the Dutch Grand Prix qualifying day.
Oh, here we go. Cooling system fault. Oh, god damn it.
Okay, the guys have found a leak in one of the coolant lines, so we're patching that up as we speak. Hold tight for now until we've got everything checked over.
Well, looks like we'll be on full wets.
Wet tyres in the current conditions.
We'll be on full wets, but we have time for 2 laps, so I definitely want to try inters, right? I definitely want to try inters, just to see, you know? In some occasions, in full wet conditions, inters have still been really good, so I do want to give it a try. Let's have a look how it looks for George Russell. It looks like it's in full wets right now. Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, there's no dry line there whatsoever. I don't know, man. Yeah, I think we'll just stick with the wets. But it might transition to inters later on. We'll see. Sonoda's doing his lap in a second. Let's just skip ahead to when he's actually doing it. Right, here comes Yuki Tsunoda. This is his qualifying lap. He was looking pretty good in practice, so let's see how he actually does in the full conditions. He's 12th in the standings with only 20 points. We know he's capable of more. Just got to get more consistent points finishes. But yeah, our car's definitely worse than it was last season, that's for sure. Balancing out the field has done absolutely nothing for the car, because it seems that balancing out the field is actually just kind of the same as default, you know? Because if everybody's the same, then it comes down to like the intricacies of the car, so it's not really equal performance, even if all the teams have got the same R&D performance, you know? Which is a big shame. I never really accounted for that when I first decided to go with balancing out the field for this season. I genuinely thought that we'd end up with like equal performance and then it would be like a really, really interesting season, but that doesn't look like it has been the case at all. And it's just, we may as well be back at the beginning of season 1 because this is how the cars have ended up, you know? But there is Yuki Tsunoda setting pole position, only ahead of the Mercedes cars though, so I should hope he's beating them.
With conditions as they are, I'd suggest you take a set of full wets.
Yeah, okay. So Yuki's looking very quick. That's a very good sign for ourselves, that is for sure. Yeah, let's go out ourselves.
Track is wet right now. Feel your way around the conditions before you start pushing the car.
Alright. Let's do this. Alright. Yeah, I definitely won't be able to try Inters, that's for sure. Jack Doohan's behind us. I don't know if he's on his lap. He seems to be. Well, he's going pretty slow around here.
We've been pushed down to P17.
I never really checked, but did Jack Doohan end up scoring points in that Spa race? Because we know he qualified really high. Was it the Grand Prix or was it the sprint? I don't remember. I know he qualified like in the top 3 though. That's what I remember. I swear I did last episode literally yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was. God, I don't remember. 5 people watching, what's up guys? Did you guys see that Audi livery? Oof. I mean, it don't look bad. But, I mean, Arava said it best. It looks like a Season 1, like, My Team livery. I swear there was a livery in F1 23 that was one of the defaults that that pretty much had the same, like, patterns as that Audi car. I don't think it looks bad, but I think the 2022 concept car looks way better. It's a purple second sector, really good sign, considering that's the most technical part of the circuit. Touching a bit of the grass going into this section, Doohan may just getting our way. Yes, he is. What a clown.
And we've been pushed down to P20.
Could always try a second lap. I don't know if we have enough ERS for it. Still pole position though, that's good. I mean, Doohan didn't really stop us all that much, and you know, maybe there's still a couple of tenths left in that. But maybe that's just how much quicker we were, I don't know. What did we set? A 124.4. Can I see what Sainz set?
Okay, Sainz is behind you.
No, okay. Can I get a full session
You're leading
update?
the pack, that's P1. Right, so far, our best lap, 1 minute, 24.4.
Well, I wish I could see what everybody else set, but I guess I can't. Guess I'm not allowed. Looking good though. In terms of our engine parts, I'll be replacing them for next Grand Prix. at Monza. And I think that is the MGUH, the Energy Store, the MGUK, and the Gearbox. We'll be fitting all new ones in for Monza.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Okay, provisional pole. Could we be looking at a second pole position in a row? We haven't picked up many pole positions throughout my career. I think we had like maybe 4 before last episode. So I think we have about 5 right now. Although I technically count it as 4 because one of those was Monaco Season 1. And Monaco is just broken easy. Like, we put it on the maximum difficulty last season and still won. So, you know.
Okay, recommend taking wet tyres in the current conditions.
Yeah, it looks like the Aston is just strong round here, which is good. The Aston seems to be really bad at technical circuits, but when it comes to circuits that require a lot of like speed in a straight line, it seems to be really, really good in that regard. So it's not bad. Right, we're going to stay on the same set. Ooh. Wow, looks like we're going on Inters now.
Okay, when you're ready, let's go.
I think it's Inters. I've switched to the recommended compound. Let's see. It is Inters. Okay. So I was kind of hoping we'd be fine. So maybe I set pole position, provisional pole, because the rain had calmed down by the time we did our lap. I don't know. But it looks like we're getting a bit of chaos in the last couple of minutes of qualifying, which is going to make things really interesting. Alright then, so we'll be able to use a bit less ERS than before. Considering the drying conditions, it usually means we use more power.
These conditions don't look like they're shifting. We're predicting at least 20 minutes of heavy rainfall.
So no matter what, there's going to be a big improvement in the time here. We just got to do good compared to everybody else to keep pole position and have a big advantage going into the race. I did turn the difficulty back down to 102 like I said I would, by the way. It was originally at 104, but some of the AI acceleration was getting a bit ridiculous. And so I turned it back down to what we had last season. We only won the championship last season because everybody was like so inconsistent. This season, inconsistency has not been a problem with the likes of Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc. So even the Williams cars are starting to pick up some real consistency now. Verstappen and Piastri still inconsistent, especially Piastri is pretty bad in this game for some reason. Here we go now. Big improvement in these conditions. Is it enough to get a good position? Third. I will take P3 happily. You know, sometimes you see it flash up for like a split second in the top left. And part of me saw a 1, so I thought, I really thought for a second we'd qualified outside the top 10, but look at that! Alex Albon!
Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Alex Albon, Callie Mayer on P5 with the Red Bull, both Mercedes cars in the top 10, and a Kick Sauber is there as well. So very, very surprising. Charles Leclerc, as consistent as ever, but looks like Lando Norris. Oof. P15 for Lando, all the way down there. And yeah, looks like we'll be able to take P2 in the championship standings, and we are close to Charles Leclerc. But look at the time difference, like 2 tenths away from the cars behind us, and then Albon and Leclerc set some crazy times. So I don't know where they pulled that out, but looks like we got a Williams on pole position, which I'm not too worried about in the grand scheme of things in the drivers' standings. We've got a Williams right behind us, so in the constructors, it is only a matter of time before Aston Martin do lose the position to Williams. So we'll probably end up P4 in the constructors. But in terms of the drivers' standings, right behind the person who's leading the championship by just over 10 points, about 12 points. So yeah, let's see if we can make some significant gains towards Leclerc in this Grand Prix. I had 8 people watching for a second. Where did that come from? Jeez. But yeah, welcome to the stream. For a while, I've wanted to do like consistent streams online, like just random lobbies, just to chill and whatever. I don't know if I'll do that because I really do enjoy doing career mode a lot more, and I have a lot of career mode plans. So if we do have the time, I'll do it. Going into F126, the DLC anyway. We'll see. All right, we've got 25 laps of Zandvoort reverse. Let's do this. I'm excited, man. P3 is not too shabby. That's our best qualifying position of the season outside of Belgium, which we always do well at. I don't know where we qualified last season at Zandvoort, but we did end up winning with the fastest lap, so I bet it was quite high. I'm guessing like a P4 or something. This time we have a P3. Lando Norris nowhere to be seen. He's right back in P15. So all we've got to worry about is the man in the Ferrari who leads the championship right in front of us. So even if we end up scoring more points than him, he needs to stop being so consistent, man. Otherwise, we are just not going to win this championship. We've got Monza next, which we haven't done since Season 1. And then after that, it's Singapore, right? No, Baku. And then Singapore, so I want to get a good result here going into those 3.
Away from Amsterdam for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Alex Albon leads us away from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have the rookie, Sainz, Callie Mayer, and Hulkenberg.
Oh, there's been a grid penalty.
Sonoda and Oscar Piastri. Doohan, Verstappen.
Verstappen, I think it was.
And Norris.
Is it Verstappen?
Behrman,
No.
Antonelli.
Antonelli. Oh,
Esteban
wow.
Ocon, and Pierre Gasly.
Well, I guess that explains why Mercedes did so well. Or at least Antonelli, maybe. I don't know.
So let's go down to the track.
Why would you take a grid penalty for the race, man? We don't have to do that.
Hi, Gnomes. Look, we know it's not where you start, it's where you finish. But let's talk about the start now. What's there to help the drivers get away well?
Well, the race is certainly not won in the first lap, let alone turn 1. However, what you can do is prepare yourself ahead of time. Visualize what could potentially happen, different scenarios and where you could place your car. And that will better prepare you to make the right decision with instinctive timing.
All right, here we go.
With 5 races remaining, we're still in with a chance of taking the Constructors' Championship. The team needs a result from you today.
Huh? We are nowhere near the Constructors' Championship lead, and there's 7 races left in the season. Where's that radio coming from? Oof, looks like we've got 12 laps on the softs. We could go a little bit earlier. There's only a 3% not 3%, a 3/10 loss if we go on to softs on lap 10. I don't know if I want to do 15 laps on the mediums. Can we even do that? I don't know, man. If we go on that, looks like we're looking at 62% tyre wear on the mediums. So, definitely don't want to go too far above 13 laps, right? So, yeah, that's why they recommended that. But, oh man, I don't know if I want to pit that late on softs. That looks painful. But I don't know if I want to pit 3/10 quicker because we'll be on 2-lap older mediums. So I think we'll go with this because the projected race time is like, that's nothing. 4,000 is literally nothing. So we'll do that. 25 laps of fuel. We'll go, I think we'll go 27 laps, like 2 laps over fuel, maybe. Could go just 1 lap. I will go 1.5 laps over fuel. I don't, because we're at full speed for a lot of this, right? We'll go 2 laps because Zandvoort is definitely I can remember a time in F1 23 where we ran out of fuel in Zandvoort. I think it's pretty much the only race I've ever done in a career mode that I've actually ran out of fuel. So I'm gonna play it safe. We'll go 2 laps over fuel. We might be a bit slow, but we can make up that time with the early pit stop. That's for sure. And that fuel's gonna burn fast. So I think we'll be fine. Let's do this. I mean, all we need to do is kind of focus on getting ahead of Leclerc. And if we're lucky, Albon will prioritise blocking Leclerc, and then we can just go around the right and take the lead of the race. And then the nature of Zandvoort is we'd run away with it, right? There's a lot of dirty air around here if the game is anything to go by from last season. Real life as well. The leader usually runs away with it. Verstappen did it in, I think, 2023 and 24. I don't know. Norris definitely did it last season. So, yeah, as long as we can get ahead, we can run away with this. And with Albon starting on the mediums, I'm not too afraid of him getting a bad start. I'm afraid of Leclerc getting a really good start because I don't want to be chasing Leclerc. Ferrari are pretty quick this season. Probably the best car on the grid. And they will not be caught. At least I don't think he will be caught. And I definitely don't like being in the dirty air around Zandvoort. It's such a narrow but fast track. Really fast flowing. Dirty air is like awful round here. Out of any of the tracks, this is probably one of the worst. Hence why the leader usually runs away with it. At least that's my take on it anyway. That might not be the actual reason, but who knows. Tyres are pretty cold. I don't know what more we could have done. We'll try and warm them up a bit aggressively here. There's really not much that we can do. Alright, we'll get slipstream off of Albon, depending on what he does.
Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get a good launch as the race starts.
Okay, here we go.
Keep an eye on the lights, the start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch.
It is now critical, crucial, that we finish ahead of Leclerc whenever we can now. Here we go. Albon doesn't have the greatest start. And he makes no move to defend whatsoever. That's not good. 3 wide nearly going into turn 1, but we managed to actually get our nose in front of Leclerc. I think we used a bit more ERS than he did. And that is the lead of the race for us. Awesome. Right, I don't want to use too much ERS. There's really not many places to overtake around Zandvoort, so we can use a lot of this time to actually save ERS. I'll go on hot lap now as well. Bit of overtake there. And then down to none for this corner. Back up to medium. And we go again. So we have the lead of the race, that's the important thing. Williams didn't stand a chance, they started on the mediums.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
Trying to find the perfect positions to actually go down to none. Leclerc, for some reason, is poking his nose down there. This AI can be suicidal sometimes. It's very strange. You'd never make an overtake there, but I'm going to be extra careful around there anyway. I think it's because I'm going a bit wide, and so the AI sees that as like an opportunity. Yellow flag's behind.
Green flag.
I don't know what happened. Everything seems to be okay. There's definitely someone in the top 5. I don't know who that was though. So somebody's had a spin, I think. Try and break the toe on Leclerc. He is setting fastest laps now. He's got the help of DRS. Sainz has just overtaken Albon. Gotta do better on that corner, that's for sure. But so far, very good. We are firmly in control of this race. Leclerc is getting nowhere near us. I think he's having the same trouble as we usually have. Where we are close, but just hanging in there, really. I mean, he's not having nearly as much trouble as I usually have. I do need to start concentrating, though. Otherwise, I am going to lose this race due to my own stupidity. I haven't crashed out a single time in this career mode. Crashed out a handful of times in F1 23, but I've gotten a lot better at controlling the car since then. Leclerc is going to try one around the outside there. He's not close enough still. We'll jot that down to none. And save a bit of ERS going into this section. Leclerc trying one in this particular section. I don't know why. There's a bit of contact there. And a bit of wing flew off. I don't know what I was supposed to do in that particular moment. But I am going to give him a chance. I'm not going to lie. I feel like he'll pit and then lose the entire race because of that stupid AI moment. So I don't want the championship to swing all because of that. He is going to pass me though. And I'm going to get it back in this section. A bit of contact obviously, but I don't know why the AI is diving there anyway. I mean, he forced me to like go completely off the racing line, literally pushed me off, so I'm going to take that contact as a bit of karma. But because of that battle, Williams are now right back. Now I've got to defend in corners that you should never have to defend in around Zandvoort, so I don't know, man. Let's just be mindful of that for the rest of the race.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 3.7 seconds.
Cool. Awesome. If we stay far away from Leclerc enough, Williams might be able to put pressure on him. Especially when tyre wear does come into play. Jackson is right behind Mayer. I didn't really pay attention to where Aiden was at the beginning of the race. We'll have to have a look what happened on that lap where there was a yellow flag. Just try picking up the pace if we can. Leclerc seems very fast going into this section. But he does have to give me space. As long as we keep the inside, just completely hug the inside on that section. Leclerc getting a massive whiff of dirty air right there. I think we went a little bit wide and then back onto the racing line and maybe caught him off guard a little bit. I'm already feeling a bit of tyre wear. Yeah, definitely feeling that tyre wear as we struggle to make it round that corner. Leclerc is really feeding off the DRS right now. That's the only reason he's staying in front of the Williams. There's Leclerc. Gonna try something around the outside here. I thought better of it though. Again, it's really hard to overtake around Zandvoort, so I'm really happy we got such a good quali position and managed to get the lead on lap 1. So yeah, Albon will be kicking himself that he didn't try and defend harder, because he's all the way down in P4 despite starting on pole position. I didn't do very well there because I'm trying to find a way to save my ERS, but obviously I have to focus on braking and turning at the same time as well, and my thumb can't steer and change ERS mode at the same time. Yeah, as long as we stick to the inside of a lot of the end of these straights, Leclerc really can't do anything. It's just going to be a very frustrating race for him. It's a lot like Monaco in a way. Not as bad. It's a very similar race to Hungary as well. But again, not as bad.
We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
Cool, we should be able to get a decent advantage over Leclerc at that point. Leclerc might have a pretty good chance to overtake here.
4.0 seconds.
Oh, very close. Trying to give him as much space as possible without, you know, being too lenient like I was in this
mate,
corner.
we're currently burning through fuel a bit quicker than we'd like, so let's try and make it last for now, please. I
knew that would happen, that's why I packed some extra fuel. ZANDVOORT is a fuel burner for sure. And I'm hoping with this undercut that we're about to do, we can actually afford to save some fuel towards the end of the race, because yeah, it's going to be a big issue if not.
Okay, we're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
Oh, I don't know what happened with Leclerc then. He went really behind for a second. Maybe that's because he braked and I just happened to look at the minimap, but he's fine. Anyway, this is us boxing this lap. So I'm not going to use hot lap this time on in sector 3, just to save a bit more fuel. Let's look at that tyre wear now. Yeah, pretty high.
Pit now, pit now.
Pretty perfect sequence of corners for us there. Okay. Really don't like that pit entry, but it'll have to do.
Okay, off we go. Back into the race. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
Alright, let's go.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Alright, here's the important part, making sure we can gain time on Leclerc. He has clean air now, so that's his advantage, but we've got fresher tyres. And he might end up fighting with Albon, I don't know. I mean, he still would have gotten DRS from us before we went into the pits, so... At least I think so. Oh, it was Verstappen. Oh wait, no it wasn't. Yeah, I don't know what happened on lap 1. There must have been some kind of collision. Still try and save VRS, just in case we have to have a fight with Leclerc, which we might, because there'll come a time very soon where we'll have to start saving fuel.
Yuki is coming in for his stop now.
Leclerc coming out now.
Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 6.3 seconds.
Verstappen just got in front of Leclerc. That is interesting, considering we've seen how much those two were fighting before. I think it was maybe the Belgian sprint. So that's going to be frustrating for Leclerc, especially in a track where, again, it's very difficult to overtake. Verstappen will not be quicker than us neither, considering he's on hard tyres. So that's a really good sign for us.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Purple second sector.
Okay, that wasn't quite what we needed there, I'm afraid. But listen, not to worry. Get your head down and chin up, and let's focus for the rest of this race.
Yeah, now's not the time to try saving fuel I mean, maybe we could have tried it while being in front of Leclerc on that last stint. But, you know, we could always do that on this one.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done.
There might be another car in between.
Okay, so we're leading our
Never mind.
teammate by
No.
10.8 seconds.
Leclerc just overtook Verstappen. But Sainz is between us, so a lot of time to make up. Albon is in front of us. He's not pit yet. But we may as well be in the lead right now. Anyway, we're going to
Okay, so the car behind
save
has
fuel on the
come in.
next
They're
lap.
now on the soft tyre. Soft tyres on the car behind.
We could start on this lap, to be fair. So we slow down, brake a bit later, use as much ERS as we can out here. Here comes Albon as well, out of the pits. Yeah, we're going to have to start saving fuel now. Which will be fine. We're using less tyre wear that way. Unfortunately, it means cars are going to catch up to us, but if we can employ the same strategy as we did on the first stint, which is, we know we'll have the cars right behind us, right? But we just make sure we have enough ERS to defend on the straight and keep to the inside, we'll be fine. Doing a pretty good job so far. Yeah, we just completely ERS it out here. Carlos Sainz, Leclerc now sets the fastest lap. Yeah, we're going to have to be saving fuel for a while. Yeah, they're gaining a lot in Sector 3. But outside of that, not too much. We should have enough to make it to the end. But I want enough to make it to the end while going full pelt near the end. I don't want to be saving fuel with cars behind me right near the end and having to do this all the way till the end.
Okay, mate, that's Sainz behind you now. We want to keep them behind, please. It's critical for our race.
Yeah, Sainz will be within DRS range very soon. Pretty much this lap. The good thing about it is that Sainz and Leclerc will almost definitely be battling at some point. Alright, here we go. ERS out of here. Yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of cars chasing us now. But we should be fine. We've done all the hard work. Here comes Carlos Sainz.
We didn't quite get what we needed out of that, I'm afraid, but don't worry about it. There's a long way to go. Chin up, and let's focus till the end.
Yeah, so as long as we keep doing that strategy, we should be fine. I really should have packed more fuel in, that's for sure. Oh yeah, we're definitely backing people up and we're going to be under a lot of pressure. For these last few laps. But in terms of fuel saving, we've actually gained fuel, which is really good.
Gap to your teammate behind, 13.6 seconds.
Look at the train we are leading now. I really should have done more fuel. We would have honestly just ran away with this if we'd have packed more fuel, considering we had a 5-second gap by the time we came out of the pits, but I really did need to save. We won't be able to do this on much other tracks. We would have been overtook by now. But the other scenario would have been going all out and then running out of fuel. And then having to really save just to make it across the line, and by then we would have lost pretty much every possible point we could have gained. But if we could keep Sainz behind us, Leclerc loses even more points. And we gain quite a bit on him, which is really good. We're definitely going to gain quite a bit on Norris. Sainz is starting to lose time. Soft tyres are going off. Right, I think this will be the last lap of fuel saving. And then we'll start pushing. Or we could just stay like this and make sure Sainz stays in P2. Because Leclerc is going to be quicker at this point, so it might just be worth keeping Sainz behind us to make sure we've got extra points over Leclerc. And hope Albon can overtake Leclerc. Because Sainz is really starting to struggle to keep up with us now. Which means I need to keep him with us. So I'm just going to give him the slipstream. Fortunately, Albon, it doesn't seem to be making any moves on Leclerc. Doesn't seem to be gaining anything, so I think the best strat to do right now is just to keep Sainz in P2. Do everything in our power to do that. His tyre's starting to go off, I can feel it. Something's happening behind. I don't know what.
Okay, clear.
Jack Doohan's out. Right, last couple of laps. Let's just push. Why not? Let's just push, see what we can do. Well, preferably not on this part. We need Sainz to keep up with us.
Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap.
Yeah, okay, nothing's happening. So let's keep Sainz within DRS, just to make sure he stays in front of Leclerc, so we can gain more points on the championship leader. Should be all sealed now. Well, there you have it. We could have dropped Sainz if we really wanted to, but that would have just resulted in a Leclerc P2.
Come on.
Let's go.
Now we can fight.
Pretty dominant win there. As soon as we gained the lead, we never relinquished it. Very easy to defend around this track.
Your second race win in a row. Fantastic job.
Third if you count the sprint in Belgium at Spa, but yeah, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad at all.
Well, that's 2 races. 6 wins in a row for them. I think they'll be really happy with that. I mean, 1 race win is great, but to have 2, you know that you've got it. You're a little bit more comfortable in your skin. This is a great sign of maybe what's to come next.
Well, hopefully what's next is a second championship.
Aston Martin's
we'll see.
performance today has shown that they can be competitive.
The Aston really
with the
starting to
biggest
come into
names
its
in the
own
sport.
lately.
They're making their way out to the podium as we speak, and the reaction from the crowd must be incredibly uplifting for them.
Absolutely. Well, we struggled in the first half of the season, but as the tracks get less technical and there's more top speed in the areas on the tracks, more about top speed matters, I mean, right? No, top speed matters more in a lot of these second half tracks. So the Aston seems to be pretty strong in that department, not so much on the technical side of things. So, yeah, when we get up to a track like maybe Brazil, we might struggle. But after this, it's Monza. Could be a pretty easy win for us, right? Ferrari will be bringing their A game, obviously. But, you know, after that, you've got Baku. Singapore is pretty technical. But, I mean, you've got tracks like Texas coming up. We've got Vegas, of course. Vegas we've always been pretty strong at, so I'm pretty confident.
We wrap up another weekend of motorsport action, but with more races lined up. Be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Yeah, look at that. Lando, Verstappen managing to make the best of their situations. Cali falling. Fortunately, a lot of these guys fell because of these guys catching up. But Lando really falling apart in this stage. I think Nico Hulkenberg might have spun out or something at that first in the first couple of laps. Let's have a look. I want to see what happened. So Hulkenberg started in P6. Yeah, and then he was down to P20. So let's have a look what happened. So here he is chasing Sainz. If we fast forward now towards the part where I thought he would have spun out. So he's nowhere near the Williams right now. Coming up to the point where he lost it. Yeah, he just spins. That's an unforced error. Doesn't even, like, he wasn't even close enough to the Williams, I don't think, to even receive much dirt. Yeah, he just went. And that is a big hit for Sauber. They're not scoring many. I mean, they've scored a decent amount of points. They're not last, right? They're not V-carb at the very least. But yeah, even getting back on the track was not good for him. He managed to gain some position. No, he didn't. He just got ahead of Doohan, and Doohan was DNF. So that ruined Hulkenberg's entire race there. And yeah, kick Sauber. Mate, they could have gained a massive haul of points compared to what they've got, but, you know. In terms of the driver's standings, we have now gained enough points. Actually, a lot more than I thought we would have. But we've now gained enough to actually be only 2 points behind Leclerc. So, in the last couple of Grand Prix, plus the Belgian sprint, we have really gotten back into this championship. I mean, we were always in it. We were consistent enough throughout the season to stay in the championship, but we were like clinging on, you know, like I think about 20 points behind the top 2, and now we've made that up with Lando being really inconsistent. Leclerc didn't have a very good Belgian sprint, and yeah, a P3 here in Zandvoort. We managed to gain a lot of points, and now we're within 2 points away from the lead of the championship. On top of that, we have now beaten Piastri in the rivalry. That's pretty good for us right there. So the rating rivalry, we have now jumped up to 93 rating just because of that. A lot of stats gained right there. We literally only just hit 92 as well. Crazy. I would find it so funny if we hit 95, our original rating, before the end of the season, even though I just said at the beginning of the episode that we weren't going to hit that. Who knows, man? I guess if it puts us in a rivalry with a top guy, right, it just gives us more XP. But there you go. That was Zandvoort Reverse. Honestly, I might remove that for the last season, I think, because that's a very, very easy track to stay in front, you know. So that might be a track that we get rid of, that's for sure. But yeah, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad at all. And next up is Monza. And after that, we've got Baku, Singapore, Texas, Brazil, and Vegas. And yeah, Monza, Baku, Texas, and Vegas are tracks that I really think will be pretty strong at. I don't know about Singapore and Brazil. We'll have to find out. But now the fight is truly on for the championship. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how that turns out with 6 Grand Prix left to go. But guys, that will do it for this episode of F125 Career Mode. If you guys liked it, be sure to hit that like button as hard as you possibly can. Comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you all next time for some more F125. Until then, peace.